episode because this is a perfect game. Persona 3 Portable is probably another like perfect game for your Steam Deck, considering that it was originally
It was originally a PSP game, yeah.
a PSP game. So
Now
you
you're
can't
playing
get
on a
any.
gigantic PSP, yeah.
You can't
You're
get
playing
any
on
better.
a PSP Jumbo at this point, yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, we're gonna just go ahead, hop on into it, and talk about some Persona 3 Portable. I've had a little bit of experience with this game when it came out. Fudge. How many years has this game existed? Is it like
When did
when
P3P come
P?
out?
Oh yeah, when P3P came out because Persona 3 is even older because we have Persona 3
P3P
FES.
is I think 2009 maybe, or 2010,
It
something like
feels
that.
like, yeah, it feels like that because it's right around the time like before I came to Japan the first time, and I was just
It
like,
was like just before you would have moved, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I used to play this game on my commutes. Like I would play it, and it was perfect. It was so perfect to play on commuting, and I had never actually. I had a friend before I came to Japan who was, dude, loved Persona 4. I mean, dude was always talking about it, and he would, when I was in the car, they would actually like just play the music. I was like, bro, this music is on point.
Because
You
it's
got to
so
get,
good, yeah. It's a
yeah,
legitimately good
yeah.
soundtrack, yeah.
And I started like, oh, you're right. This is really cool. And I was like, oh, look, this seems like it's perfect. I have no clue what I'm getting myself into, but yeah, let's try Persona 3. I bought it and I enjoyed it. I unfortunately didn't finish it. I got about 20, 30 hours into it.
So you're like a
But
third of the way through the game then.
yeah, yeah. And it's on my list of like, I really should go back and finish it because I enjoyed it. I was actually enjoying playing it on the train and the commute. And maybe not playing on the commute is what got me off of it. But when was the first time you played Persona 3? Well, any of them, honestly. Persona 3,
So
FES, or
I
Portable.
bought OG P3 when it came out in North America. So that's when it was released as Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3, right?
Hmm.
This is like well before Persona really hit its stride, and
Right,
it was kind of being like released under like the SMT name.
right, right.
But yeah,
So,
no, I got P3 like when it just came when it was just P3,
yep.
and then I loved it a lot. So I did 2 playthroughs of it, and then FES came out, and then I beat FES, and then P4 came out, and I beat P4, and then P3P came out, and I started to play P3P. Actually, never finished it.
Yeah, okay.
So I think this is my chance to try to get through it. So P3P, I mean, I guess this will kind of segue into some of the changes that P3P has, but like when I started to play P3P, I was especially coming off Golden.
Right.
Not Golden, sorry, not Golden, sorry. P4. Golden is like way newer. When I finished P4, and then P3P came out, I like Persona 3. Like I love the characters and the world and the music and the bosses and the story and everything, but like some of the changes in P3P that they made to accommodate the PSP, I was like, I get it, but the game's not as fun for me because of it. So,
I mean, we have to
I
keep in mind because this
yeah,
game originally was on PS2 where you did have two analog nubs and you could be a little bit more 3D. I don't know if that played into the factor of
you
why
like
they made the
okay,
change to kind of a point and click style
okay. Well, for
for that
starters,
part.
the
Yeah.
right analog stick is like never used in the
Oh,
original.
okay. Okay.
You can turn the camera with the shoulder buttons. Like it's that era of JRPG where you
It's
use
so
the shoulder buttons to turn the camera.
the
Yeah,
best era, the best era. Nothing to
yeah,
worry about.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I guess I don't know how to introduce this. So P3P came out after P4 came out. So what P3P is it's kind of an expanded version of Persona 3, and they added. Well, the biggest thing they added is a female protagonist, so it's like an entirely new route. So if you've already played P3 and you're like, oh, I want to play through the game, but I don't want it to be exactly the same, then the female protagonist is for you. Um, it changes the social links a little bit. Obviously, it changes who you can date, and it changes. You can choose a different Velvet Room attendant. You can choose Theodore, this handsome man, I guess. He's exclusive to the female protagonist route.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
And yeah, so some of the social links are different. Obviously, dialogue is different. People obviously are referring you to a female because, you know. Um, so that's supposed to be like
I guess the hook,
the
the what makes it new, right? The
yeah, the one what's new for old players, I guess. But if you're coming to, you've never played it before, or you just want the kind of the OG experience, and the male protagonist is obviously still selectable for you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the biggest thing that they added to P3P. But as for things that I guess they had to compromise on, so there's a couple big changes that the game has when they moved it to PSP. So number one is there's no more like 3D. I guess there's no like exploration in the game anymore. Um, Aside from the dungeons, it's all point and click. So when you would normally have like, let's say for example, like the mall, when you go in the mall and you can like run around and go through all the shops, right? You're moving your character.
Right. Right.
It's literally just like a picture of the
Of
mall,
the
and
mall.
it's like, and you're just like moving this like cursor, and you're like this store, and then it's like, oh, you want to go inside the store or whatever. Or if you're in your dorm, yeah, so it's like, oh, like you point at the mirror and it's like look at the mirror, and you're like, yeah, right.
Right. Right.
So that's basically the biggest change.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and it's definitely way more like a visual novel now at this point. I mean, Persona already is borderline visual novel just based on how much text there is in the game.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, when I was playing on Commute, it felt like, because you go through the days just like you would in other Personas too, but because I didn't have to walk around or anything, it just felt really snappy. You know, it felt like I could go through and do tasks and chores, like bam, 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 go in the dungeon, do that stuff, then go outside, like you said, go to the mall or wherever, and just like it was just very expedited, which was great. I enjoyed that aspect because it was portable.
So like there is that benefit if you I mean it is true. Yeah, you can go through stores very quickly because they added the like it's like a fast travel menu basically. You hit square or X if you're on an Xbox controller, and then or Y if you're on a Switch controller. And then it would like bring up this like fast travel menu. It's like, where do you want to go? I'm like, oh, I want to go here. So that's actually, in P3P, which is good and bad. I don't know. I mean, P5 is both, honestly, because P5 is a modern game. But so there's that. It's really point and click. And what else did they change? So I guess there's that, right? There's like less like movement really, and then it's more like a visual novel where you have to use your imagination a lot of times, just because you're like stuff is being described to you as opposed to being shown to you.
Okay.
Or you're not like moving through an area.
Right.
And
Right.
alongside that is like there's no more animated cutscenes. So there's a few animated, like full animated anime cutscenes in P3.
Okay. Okay.
One for the intro, and one for the first time the Dark Hour happens to like some people. One for when your school transforms to Tartarus. Spoilers, I guess, for the first hour.
Spoilers. If you haven't
And then
played
like
it, now you know.
a cutscene from when you first summon your persona. So there's like a lot of cutscenes for these like key moments, like fully animated and voice cutscenes.
Okay.
Those are not in P3P at all. They kind of do their best to like show you snippets from this cutscene, so it's like a frame of that cutscene, and then they'll like, like pan it, like it'll be like a sideways,
It'll just be like a sideways, like just like a still, and then a pan, just like
yeah. So like to show movement, there'll be like a screenshot, and then like the picture just like sliding left to right or whatever. Yeah. And to me, like the biggest, like it's really disappointing for one instance, which is when you summon your persona for the first time, because it's like really, it's a cool cutscene. So it's when you like get to the roof of your dorm, because like you're getting attacked by a big shadow or whatever, and you and Yukari, who's like one of your first party members, you'll run up to the dorm, and at this point you don't have a persona, right?
right.
And like this big shadow tries to like it gets on the roof, and Yukari like tries to summon her persona, but she like gets like she I guess falters. I guess she can't do it, so she drops her evoker, which is like a gun looking thing.
Yeah.
And this is all in an animated cutscene. So then your main character picks up the gun, and then like the music cuts out, and it's like dead silent. And then he or she, well, there's no she, there's no animated she, but so the main character will like just pick up the evoker, and then like just summon a persona, and the persona will get summoned as one persona, as Orpheus, and then it like morphs into Thanatos, and it just like destroys the shadow, and it's like a super cool looking cutscene.
Do you find?
Sorry,
I was gonna say, do you find that like I don't know? Do you wish that they would have put it in? Like, I wonder if there was a way that they could, because I mean, this is now it's on Switch, it's on Steam, it's on PS4, PS5, Xbox, it's on everything that can handle that stuff, and it seems like they kind of just opted to do a straight port, is what it seems like.
Yeah. So what happens for that scene in particular? They just try to recreate it with 3D models, and it just doesn't have the same effect. It's just it doesn't feel as cool. But yeah, no, as you mentioned, like this is literally a port. This is not updated in any Well, that's not true. They added one feature, which is quick save. That's it.
Oh, that's nice.
They
I
added
guess.
a quick save feature, yeah, which is that's
That's
cool, I
a
guess.
it's there.
Yeah, so you can save wherever you want. So basically, yeah, it's a straight port. It's literally called Persona 3 Portable on every console, even though it's not portable for some people. Like if you're playing on an Xboxes aren't portable. Like this PC is debatable. It could be on a laptop or a Steam Deck. But yeah, it's just Persona 3 Portable. So there's a couple changes. So I think if you're coming to this from a new player, I guess, like maybe you've heard of Persona, maybe you're coming from 5 or God forbid 4 Golden or whatever, right?
Right.
And you're like, oh, I want to check out like the beginning of the modern Persona games because all the modern Persona games start from 3.
From
Like
3, yeah. There is a I
they're
mean there is a 1 and 2, but the modern
right.
Persona games, like you said, that's 3 on up.
Yeah, so gameplay, like mechanically wise, and even like story wise, some of the story hooks, some of the references and everything, they all stem from 3.
Okay.
So if you want to, if you played Persona 5, Persona 5 came out in 2016 and won several Game of the Year awards and like made a big name for itself as like a good JRPG.
Yeah.
So like maybe you played 5 and you're like, oh, I actually want to check out, I want to play 3, and you're like, you're gonna get into it.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I would say like pick it up, especially if you don't mind paying how much it costs. I mean, it's like 30 Canadian, so it's probably like 25 or 20 USD.
I want to say like I even saw on Steam you can get 3 and 4 for like $40 or less if you want to. So it's if you want to hop in on both, or if you just want to hop in on the one, it's cheap either way.
Yeah. So I got it. Like the only thing that I would mention is like if you're coming from 5, especially from 5, you have to keep in mind. You have to keep in mind this game is like
10, 12
at this,
like
years 15 years old at this
old.
point. Yeah.
Like the original, if you go back to just the OG, yeah, it's old.
The OG Persona 5 at this point, it'd be like pushing 20 years. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So you have to keep in mind that this is an old game. And as long as you know that like it's like it's dated, then maybe you'll be okay.
Ooh. For the first one.
For OG, right? Yeah.
For OG.
So I mean, a lot of it is the same still, I guess. The way that combat handles. So there's still the all-out attack, but there's no like follow-ups. I think follow-ups came from Golden actually, P4 Golden.
Okay.
So that's still even newer than this, but I think for new players, you'll probably have a little bit of an adjustment period, but you'll probably ease into it after some time. The Golden, though, I'm not Golden, sorry. Portable is really weird just because, yeah, it's just point and click. Like, even like the social link part of it is like just like, oh, I'm gonna go like open my menu to talk to this guy, and then I'm gonna do a social link. Whereas opposed if you're gonna do 5, it's like you get a text message and it's like, you want to hang out? Like, sure. Oh, you can just like go through your school and you can like find them. Yeah,
exactly what I was saying earlier. I mean, they made it portable, and it really is like if you were commuting, this game is top tier. So maybe I don't know, like maybe Switch is probably could be the best version, like Switch Steam Deck kind of thing. In terms of like if you want to just play it, and I wouldn't even say like how it's quote quote meant to be played, but I don't know. I just found that was just really like relaxing, very relaxing, because you don't worry about moving. And like you said, everything is just like you go in, you do it, you open the menu. Like you said, it's basically a visual novel. Like
it's a visual novel.
Very, very close. Outside of just the RPG combat part, you're basically breezing through a lot of stuff. And because of that, I couldn't tell how far I made into the game. I know Personas are usually pretty long. Is this one around the same length of like 4 or 5, or is it like much shorter?
It's like 80 hours, I'd say. So it's a little shorter than it's like they just get longer. They just get longer, right? So
okay.
P3 is like 80 hours, P4 is like 90 maybe, and then P5 is like 100. Yeah.
My goal for Steam Deck.
Yeah, I think like coming from 3 and then playing 4, it was tough to go to P3P. Honestly, like just the menu navigation was what's such a bummer for me. Like I really like running through them all. Like I mean, like I was on Reddit, because this is like a lot of people are divided between which is the best version of Persona 3. There's still no definitive version, unfortunately, which is the biggest gripe from a lot of fans. There's no one game that is the definitive P3.
Okay.
Like for P4, it's obviously Golden.
Right.
And for P5, people are going, oh, it's Royal. But that definitive version doesn't exist for P3, unfortunately, because there's features that FES has that Portable doesn't, and then there's features that Portable has that FES doesn't. So like, which one are you going to try to play if you want like the best version of Persona 3? So
But at this point, if to even get FES, like you got to go back, get your PS2 out, or
yeah, that's
whatever
the thing,
means
problem,
you have to do. But yeah.
Yeah, so my girlfriend actually like started P3 on Portable, right? She actually didn't play OG.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Oh, I like Portable." I'm like, "Yo, you should play FES then." And then she's like, "Okay," because FES has like, so the biggest thing that FES has that Portable doesn't is it has the epilogue. So there's like another, it's like after the credits. I think it's like 1 year after the credits for Persona
Oh, that's
ends.
pretty cool.
It's like a full-on legitimate like epilogue. It's like actual canon story, and it's kind of important, I would say. Arguably very important to like to like
It's
the
kind
whole
of, but
canon. Yeah,
just a little bit important. Not that, but this one does not have that. Is what
it
you're
doesn't
saying?
have it. Yeah,
That why? Is it just
it's
was it
probably
some
because
space reason or something?
it was
Like,
probably space, and also because of the female protagonist, honestly, because it would be weird for the epilogue to focus solely on protagonist, but not both
but
protagonists,
not
and
both. Yeah.
they probably didn't want to like redo the whole epilogue for the female protagonist as well.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want to like I think I know the game's like 15 years old, but if you're jumping into P3 now and like I don't want to be like this is what happens in the epilogue because but
Oh yeah, don't yeah, definitely don't tell.
um
But I would want to ask this, and I definitely know there's people probably who want to know: are P3 and P4 connected?
yeah, absolutely, like 1,000 hardcore
Like,
yeah, very connected.
okay,
Especially
okay,
yeah.
like is it the same school, or is it just
Oh my
like,
god,
are
that's
they just
the same world. No, yeah, well there's different towns. Like you go to in P3P, you and Fez, I think you go to like the town of no,
oh,
in P3P you go to the town of P4,
okay,
and then in P4 you take a field trip to the town of P3.
oh, okay,
And then
that's
like
pretty cool.
in the fighting games, you know the like
Oh yeah,
Ultimax or whatever.
because for anyone who doesn't know, those are legit canon. That
Those are canon too, yeah.
actually every Persona
Is
game
canon, yeah.
is canon, even the
So
dancings.
yeah, in the fighting games, like the two parties like meet,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
like and it's like old P3 cast because it takes place after the end of P4. So by this time, like all the
Oh,
P3 characters have like
they're older.
they're older, they've
Oh, what the
graduated. Yeah,
heck? That's pretty hype.
yeah, yeah. So like Mitsuru is like a super adult,
Oh
sexy
my
like
gosh, she
CEO.
was.
Yeah,
We don't want to say, but she was already good looking as she was. I mean,
yeah. Anyways, so no, they're very connected. Yeah, so
that's and I think that's something. And then when it comes to five, that
it's
is
same universe,
same universe. Okay, okay. So it was just one of those questions that crossed my mind. I'm like, I've seen them together on screen, and it was probably during like the fighting game
the
stuff,
fighting games.
but
Yeah.
I just never knew if they were like there, like together in these games sometimes. So that's pretty
I
cool
was
to know.
convinced. I was convinced that P5 was actually going to be a continuation of P3 and P4 because the fighting games came out, and the
Mhm.
way that the fighting games ended was like, oh, we have bigger enemies ahead of us, and then P5 was about to come out. I'm like, holy shit, it's gonna be P3 and P4, and no, and P5 is really good. Don't get me wrong, obviously, but yeah. No,
Wow.
yeah. So there's the epilogue in Fez. So yeah, my girlfriend was like enjoying Portable. I'm like, you should play Fez. And then I remember one of her reactions was just like, "Holy shit, you can run around the."
You can.
I'm like, yeah, you can.
I've kind of like
Yeah,
I've had it on screen a little bit here and there, but like I mean, you can literally you can see sometimes it's just people standing on the screen. You move a
yeah.
cursor to them, and you tap. I mean, heck, this game could even been on a mobile device. I'm surprised it
But
wasn't
you can
actually
play
on like an
on a
iPhone or
phone,
something.
or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
I mean, it's perfect for that too.
like a big tablet. Yeah.
And like you said, there's like the quick menu. You just kind of go through, like, hey, do you want to go to this town? You want to go to the mall, high school, the shrine, whatever. Do your stuff there. I mean, it really is just meant to be played portably. And it
Yeah.
would be interesting to see this. Do you know the reason that they made P3 3? Sorry, well, Persona Portable. Was there
Why did they make it?
yeah, was there, did Sony just say
Money,
like, yo,
presumably.
here,
Yeah.
we need money for here, we need stuff on the PSP? Like, it's kind
Well,
of
they
baffling a
probably.
bit.
I mean, this came out after P4, so they probably saw the opportunity to improve P3 with the the changes from 4.
Right.
And maybe they got asked by Sony or someone to put a good game on PSP, and then they did it. I don't
And
know. Yeah.
it's like, huh. Um, I mean, that's more power to them. Kudos to them for actually interpreting it in a different way and really making it portable. Are there any technical issues? Because people who are going to buy this on like PC or anything like that,
No, like if you can't run this, God help you.
you can't run nothing with screen. I mean, when I was looking on stream, it was like in terms of like screen aspect ratio, all that stuff. It seemed everything is fine. I don't think there's.
I think it's locked to 16:9, which is a default, which is like a normal resolution for most people. If you are playing on a Steam Deck, I think you're gonna have the black bars on top of them, like tiny black bars. I mean, you have a Steam Deck, you know what I mean. So most games are 16:9 ratio, and the Steam Deck is a 16:10 ratio. So you have like a little bit of black on the top and bottoms, but you just go, it's whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. So there's the problem is there's no definitive version of P3. So if you're playing on FES, you have the epilogue and you have like free movement, like total movement. And I guess that's where the benefits end. If you're playing P3P, you get the female protagonist, you get better social links, you get full party control, which is something that came over from 4. And well, I mean, I guess like if you don't want to run around, you have fast travel. You also are missing cutscenes though. You don't have any animated cutscenes, so I would say that's a good downside. So the problem is like, yeah, which version of 3 is considered the definitive version, and people
hard.
can't really come to a conclusion.
Honestly, if they took the epilogue out of the equation, I think you could probably say portable.
P3P would be
yeah. But with that epilogue being there, I mean, I guess you can watch it online, but I mean, for most of this stuff, like you want to experience it yourself. You know what I mean? Like you got that far, and
so especially because if you play the fighting games, if you start to go deep into the Persona canon rabbit hole, they mention like the events of the epilogue in one of the character's story routes in the fighting games. Like she is like directly coming off from the epilogue from P3.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Well then, that's all I can say is well then.
I mean, I'm happy that I beat it on my PlayStation 2 actually.
Yeah, PS2.
So yeah, like I didn't not even on PS3, not on emulator or anything. Like, oh gee, I bought a copy and played it on my CRT TV. So
gosh, CRTs. Oh gosh.
But yeah, no. If you are a brand new player to Persona 3 and you want to figure out like the start of the modern games, you can pick it up, sure. Play through it. I guess if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's totally fine. I can understand how it'd be really difficult to come to play coming from 5, especially. Maybe 4.
Wow.
If you don't like it, you don't like it. I guess I can understand. It's an old game at this point. If you are like a returning player rather, then it's P3. It's P3P. It has not changed. It's just literally the game that you enjoyed as a kid. Like it's the same game. So,
well, there you go, everyone.
It's on Switch, Xbox, PS4, and Steam.
Yep. It's on everything under the sun except for your mobile, like your phones.
Yep.
Somehow.
P4 Golden also came out for all those consoles minus Steam because it's been on Steam for years, like 1.5 or 2 years at this point. But for the other consoles, P4G also launched on the same day.
And I guess now the big question is, when are we potentially getting a Persona 6? I mean, like not like it's not coming, but
they might announce it this year. Atlas was like, we have a bunch of games to announce this year, and like maybe because P5 came out in 2016, which is at this point it's already 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So
I mean,
a long time when we should.
Honestly, like they've had a really good run up because we had, what was it, Devil Survivor? Was it Devil Survivor? Well, Shin Megami Tensei 3.
5.
And we had we also had 5.
You had the remaster of 3.
Yeah, we've had the remaster of 3. We also had 5. And we've had Soul Hackers 2, and then we've had in between all, while all this is going on, Persona 4 Golden kind of kicked that off, and then, Persona 3 Portable. I mean, I feel like Atlas had a great, all this is within 2 years. Those games.
Well, Golden is like a re-release of a Vita game, right? But
yeah. But it's nice to see that all this, I mean, they're really doing good by their fans. I like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Atlas is also working on a fantasy RPG. I don't know when that's coming out. They announced that a long time ago.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, it has. I think it still only has like a working title. I don't think it has like a full-on title yet. No, they announced it like a while ago. It's like a full like fantasy RPG.
I wonder if it's under their upcoming release. Okay, no, they don't have anything in their upcoming releases. I'm a little bit curious, like which, because like a lot of their stuff is already still available on current consoles if you want to play them, if you want to find them. Is there anything, because I'm looking through their history right now, if there's any games that you'd like to see like remade, like re-release, sorry, not remade, or they could be remade, I don't know, like
the Trauma Center. Jesus, Trauma Center.
you know what, so that was DS only, correct?
It was DS and then
There was a
Wii.
sequel, wasn't there?
Yeah, on the Wii. Yeah.
That would be a pretty good one.
Yeah, bring it back, you cowards.
No one wants any surgical drama, I guess. I don't. That's a good question. Why they never continued with that series? I guess maybe either the story stopped or they just.
Well, I would say
they reviewed well. They reviewed well.
I would say the consoles stopped being conducive for that gameplay, because with the DS they're using the touchscreen to like cut stuff. And,
to kind of cut stuff up quickly.
And it made sense, right? It was a perfect console for that gameplay, which is probably why they made it, because they saw an opportunity with the hardware. And then when the Wii came out, they're like, oh, we can make it work. You can use the Wii mode and use like a floating cursor, and you have to hold your arm out for hours at a time. Like it might work, right?
Yeah.
And then after that was the Wii U, and like maybe they could have made it work with the touchpad, but maybe, and also the Wii U kind of sucked. And Alice at this point was already making a lot of money from like other games like Persona, so they probably just like didn't care anymore.
And honestly, like, yeah, putting this on Switch would be kind of cool. Because I mean, it's the same concept. Same thing with the Wii. You just use the Switch controllers, the Joy Cons. There we go. That would be a good one. I you know what? I would not actually mind seeing this come back, because it was one of those games I actually wanted to play, but just never, I never got around to doing it.
You like never played Trauma Center?
Yeah, I never owned a DS. I didn't own a DS until DSi.
It's like stupidly fun. Like it's a typical Atlas game where you think it's about one thing and it turns out to be fucking about something else. Like you're a doctor and you're like, all right, I'm here to save lives, and now it's like, wait, what do you mean I'm stopping a criminal organization? What are you talking about? I'm a doctor.
That's because that's what doctors do.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's a good game. So
man, I'm looking at this and it says May 18th, 2020 on the Wii.
Wait, that can't be fucking right. Wait, that can't be fucking right. That can't be.
You talked to freaking Atlas. Hold up, let me go. Look at this. Look at this.
Can't be fucking right.
Right.
Wait, what? Wait,
I'm like, wait, it can't be right, right?
Wait, 2020
for the Wii version. The Wii. I don't believe it was.
No, that's too recent. That's too recent.
I don't look. May 18th, 2020.
The Switch has been out. The Switch was already. What are you talking about? It was like 2 years ago.
Maybe it's on the Switch, and that's what they want to say. Like, I fucking don't know, bro.
No, that's fucking broken, dude. That can't be right. That can't be right.
Their website is broken.
I need to look this up.
Quick, somebody tell them that their website.
It's 2010. It's May 18th, 2010.
Well, we found a typo. Do we write into them like, hey, there's a typo here. Do you want to
no.
Should we fix it?
2010.
Should
2010.
you fix it, Atlas?
Yeah, they should fix it by making a new one. Yeah.
Wow, was not expecting that. Yeah, my friend really likes Etrian Odyssey. Etrian Odyssey, bro, the soundtrack went hard for that series. Dang, I remember him playing it. I was like, yo, we about to listen to this soundtrack. I didn't care about the game. I'm not one for the Etrian Odyssey series in terms of the gameplay, but
yeah, I'm not big on it too, but if you are into it, then you're a big fan. It has a really niche cult following, right?
So. It's one of those old school dungeon crawlers, basically.
Yeah, you're mapping a map. You have to make the map yourself. Yeah,
the OG, the art is really cool. I love the art, but you're essentially you're making that map and going down that dungeon. So
yeah, it's definitely not
for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Man. There's actually 5 total Trauma Center games, so they did work on the series quite a bit.
Oh, maybe the last one did come out in 2020.
No, it was 2010 for sure. Yeah, but they did 5 total games. One is like a remaster of sorts of the first one, but yeah.
Oh man, 2020.
Yeah, do it, Alice Trauma Center, please. I would love to play that.
And while you're at it, just go steal Xenosaga and make it too. It's not your own. It's not your game, but it's okay.
Purchases
Just,
from
yeah,
Bandai.
just steal it and make it. Just take it.
A lot of people want a full remake of Persona 3, especially because there's still no definitive edition of it. Like people are just like they play FES or they play P3P or whatever.
Yeah. It's understandable.
Because there's no definitive version of it yet. People are like, AOS should make a full remake with the Persona 5 engine. And as a fan of the series and as a fan of P3, obviously I think that would be amazing.
That would take a lot of time.
Oh yeah, that's a problem.
Like a full because
so
then
like,
why stop at just 3? Why not do Golden too? Everything
like
just
remake P4.
Yeah, just
again?
remake P4 and.
Well, they're no Capcom. They won't do that. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. When that money starts flowing in,
I think the team is like way too small. Honestly, I think it's a choice. Do you want P6 or do you want some remake or something? So I think they're probably gonna do P6. But no, yeah, like it'd be a cool remake to see. But I don't know. It's one of those dream.
pipe dream.
Yeah, it was kind of like it would be the equivalent of 7 being remade, which eventually happened. But
which eventually happened. So I guess
yeah.
What history has taught us, it shall repeat. 10 years later, mark our words, we're about to get that remade version of Golden.
If they can like rapidly expand their team, like, and I mean like rapidly, then the game might be feasible. But
technology.
It's a crazy thing. Cost money to make, so
games
cost money and team. And
they
like
do.
Humans, yeah.
They do. And speaking of it, we're gonna switch on over really quickly.